I always love pointing out hypocrisies, right? I always love pointing out hypocrisies. And I've said this countless times before. I don't talk about women so I could degrade women or, insult women. I talk about women to show that women are no better than men, okay? Because I never say that men are better than women. I don't believe, men haven't done terrible things. Of course men have. But women are no better than men. I believe that pretty much anything a man has done, almost anything, a woman has done it as well, okay? It's just that society constantly paint men as the villain and women as the victim. Okay, society constantly give women the moral high ground while men are immoral pieces of shit. So I always that's why I talk about women, because we got plenty of content creators that talk about men that are pieces of shit. So that's my thing. So a married teacher, right, mom, 29, whom moaned about men being creepy online, charged with molesting a student. In a TikTok video, Danielle Weaver asked, why do men have to be so creepy, after a stranger approached her for a vape. Danielle's husband, Caleb, filed for divorce the day after she was arrested and has been granted temporary custody of her two daughters. Yeah. I don't know about you, okay? Because I'm seeing more and more cases of teachers having inappropriate relationships with their students. Now, I've also been critical of like the men that, say the BS that, oh my God, I wish I was that. I wish I was this. Stop it. You people are disgusting, in my opinion, right? You people are disgusting. You are honestly just mentally disturbed men. But that's my take, and I've done videos on that. But I want to say that this shows you, okay, women have no moral high ground to stand on. And this thing right here, calling men creepy, right? And yet you, right, are a pedo yourself, right? You are someone who would do inappropriate things with children. You have this is, like I said, okay? And we're seeing more and more of this. We're seeing more and more female teachers having inappropriate relationships with their male students, okay? The craziest thing is that you have a man, right? And you are a mom. That's the insanity. This is why these are the creepy women, right? This is why you can't trust when women say, men are creeps. Men who knows what you do behind the scenes? Who knows your skeleton in your closet, right? We see women constantly talk about how creepy men are, how, perverse men are. Yet, let me see the skeleton in your closets, right? Let me see the skeleton in your closets. Women like this call older men creepy, all right? Yet, they have no problem, right? They don't see no problem with doing inappropriate things with minors, okay? While they can easily get a man their own age. This is funny as shit. I love pointing out hypocrisies, particularly women's hypocrisy.